Creating art is a passion that I've had ever since I was a little kid. Drawing pictures off the back of cereal boxes while eating breakfast in the morning and doodling in school at the back of the class was the beginning of a journey into my life in art. Throughout the years, it has molded me into the tattooer I am today. Although this may sound simple and perfect, there were many obstacles to overcome along the way. Little did I know art would evolve in my life throughout the many trying times and lead me down a path and eventually help save my life.
I think tattooing can save somebody's life, definitely. You know, it can get them away from the bad times or the bad people or the bad things that they're around at that time. Tattooing is it's a moment of solitude, you know? It's like you focusing on your craft.
I mean, tattooing just completely changed my life. So I went from making countertops to doing a job that I love. It wasn't even a job, you know? And that first entire year, I think I was in the shop, like we had 10-hour days in the shop, and I would be there for 12 to 14 hours every single day, like 6 days a week, just because I wanted to be there.
When I was younger, there was an old gentleman next door to my aunt's that was in the Navy, and he had like a naked chick on his arm. And ever since then, I was just kind of fascinated by tattoos. As soon as I was able to pick up a machine, I did. And because of that, it's opened up more doors to music, to meeting different people. And it's really had a big impact on my life.
I think doing anything constructive that you can be passionate about could save anybody's life. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you like building cars and stuff, like if you're passionate about it, like that could pull you out of anything. You know what I mean? So tattooing could definitely save somebody's life.
It's kind of weird how by me just going to jail and knowing I'm getting ready to go to prison, and that first time that I picked up that pencil in a jail cell and started drawing, that was going to lead into my future and my success and where I am today and help me become a positive person. So it just kind of goes to show you how anything can happen in your path in life. And I'm just lucky that mine completely turned all the way over and became a positive. So this is the first original side of Just Brass Monkey we only had from right here straight back with these 5 rooms. This actually used to be my room. It's in the middle of being transformed into our apprentice's room. This is the room she'll be in. I have Danny spray paint my name on every room that I've ever been in, so I'm making them leave that here. And so this is all we have, but we got these cool theater chairs mounted to the ground. This is the last thing I owned from my drug dealing days when I was 20. During this journey, there were a lot of unexpected things. Hard living seemed to be the norm throughout my teens, and this fast life was pretty relentless growing up in Ohio on the east side of Toledo. Straight from the start, I made a lot of bad choices, from skipping school, stealing, to selling drugs, then graduating all the way up to the big times with aggravated robbery. By the time I realized that the criminal lifestyle wasn't the way to go, it was already too late. I woke up one day wondering how I came to the point in my life where I'm sitting in a jail cell facing 8 to 33 years. Being already past a no return point was a pretty sobering wake-up call for my 22-year-old self, and I knew no matter what happened past this, I was going to make changes in my life to not be a criminal. Throughout my many years in prison, my drawing became a huge part of my everyday life, from drawing on envelopes to art projects for the prisoners, all the way up to one day tearing apart my Walkman cassette player and building it into my first tattoo machine. Car Stereo 1 is the first time when Parker showed me, and he was like, hey, you gotta meet my dad. He wants you to fix his back or something. Then you showed that shit to me and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with that?
It was out there.
You haven't been wearing, like, you wouldn't even go to the beach and take your shirt off, would you?
No, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd just start finding more projects to do so I didn't have to take my shirt off. How long you been doing this, Mike? Tattooing?
I think I did my first tattoo in 1990. Well, no, probably 2001 when I was in prison. And then I tattooed on and off in there for a long time. And then my first professional place I ever did a tattoo was in Portsmouth, Ohio at my dude Glenn's shop, Freestyle Tattoo. I got out of prison. I went down there and he gave me like a crash course in tattoo machines that are real compared to guitar freaking strings and freaking Walkman motors. And like literally, dude, I went to his shop, and the next day, and like I've been out of prison, I don't know, a week. And this dude hands me his tattoo machine. He's like, "Go tattoo that dude out there." I was like, "Dude, I don't even know how to use this thing." And he's like, "I'll put it together for you." He's like, "It's just like tattooing in prison." And I'm like, so dude, I did this tattoo and it came out okay. It wasn't nothing real bad. It was some lettering. That was the first time I ever did a professional tattoo. So that was in 2007. So I've been tattooing professionally since then. A couple of months ago, one of my best friends that got me into tattooing had passed away at an age way before he should have went. He's got a pin sticking in his head. It was a pretty big shock to me. He kind of kept his cancer secret for a long time, so it kind of snuck up on me in the end and caught me by surprise. But I'm glad I got to spend a lot of time with him before he did pass away, and actually got to talk to him within a couple days from him passing. And Glenn has always been a very strong man that has helped me, and the guy would bend over backwards for you and do if you needed anything, he'd be the guy to give it to you, or give you advice or help, or just hand you the money right out of his pocket. And he's been there for me like a brother throughout the last 15, 20 years of my life. And I truly miss that man.
So Mike has tattooed my back piece, which was a cover-up that was not a very good tattoo to begin with. So the back piece was a tribute to my grandfather, or it was supposed to be. The guy that I went to just didn't come up with a very good idea. I thought it was a good idea, but when it came together, it was something that I just hated. I didn't want to go anywhere without a shirt on. So then I came to Mike and I showed him what I had to work with to begin with. Asked him to come up with something cool, and he started adding all these pieces. The very first time I came in, he knocked out the whole entire outline in the first session. And after I seen that, I was like, man, this is gonna get pretty wicked. And then once the coloring started going on it, it started brightening up, and it just became a tattoo that I never would have thought of coming up with, but it was better than I would have ever thought of.
Business has been really awesome for the Brass Monkey Tattoo Company in the last couple years. From expanding to one side of a place to another, to a whole nother extra building, and from going from 4 to 9 and soon to be 10 people tattooing here. We got a great crew. Everyone is like family, and we're just having a great time. Okay, so originally this was our first shop. This was Brass Monkey originally. We just had this one unit, and then the lady next door ended up moving out, and then we rented the other side. So we expanded that way, which was cool because it made the whole lobby and everything bigger, and just more elbow room for everybody to get around in there. And then eventually we ended up buying this building because it was a big eyesore right next to my business, and we turned this into the second part of Brass Monkey. You can come with me, I'll show you. This right here is my room, my new and improved room that I tattoo in and hang out. You don't need much more than this. Actually, it's kind of overboard, but it's real comfy in there. Then you come down here, I collect a bunch of little lowrider models and stuff that me and Danny are into. It just fills up space because I'm kind of like a hoarder. And we got a nice little bar. Get done tattooing, you can have a shot, kick it. The best part about having a successful business is knowing that I have somewhere to come every day and work and share time with great people and being able to create art for people and actually being successful as a human being. Like, I just never thought that that would be possible, and it's more than I could have ever imagined.
So tell me about the documentary that was created about your story.
The Degenerate documentary was like a chilling look back on my criminal lifestyle that I used to be into, and that took me all the way to 11 years in prison.
Good evening, everyone. A break tonight in the case of a murdered South Toledo man.
Investigators say as many as 7 suspects went to his home early Monday morning, where they robbed and shot in the presence of his friend and that friend's daughter.
Police issued 3 more warrants in connection with the murder today. Pettengill turned himself in late this morning with his attorney.
So it is the premiere of the mini documentary Degenerate that I've been working on with Michael Pettengill. We're having the premiere right here behind us at the Eastwood Theater. Super excited.
The reactions that I got from the documentary were amazing. We had a premiere showing at the movie theater in East Toledo, and it was very successful, with probably close to 100 to 150 people showing up. The money that was collected from the premiere and the drawings was donated to the East Toledo Family Center to give back to the community and troubled kids. To this day, I still occasionally get messages from people I don't know telling me how my story has inspired them.
Yeah, when I heard about Mikey's story and with his youth, it was, you just wouldn't expect that from a guy like him. You know, he just seems so positive and whatnot, and to see that he's went through so much being younger is pretty crazy.
Now, Mikey's energy is great. Those are the type of people I like to be around personally, and to see him, you know, he's running the shops and still pushing ahead. So I think it's a story that needs told. You know, and I'm glad I know the guy.
I don't know. Mikey's one of those dudes that, like, you meet him and you're immediately just friends. Like, I didn't even know Mikey that long, and it's like we're fucking bros. You know, and it's cool as shit. Like, I don't know. It's hard to believe that he spent so much fucking years of his life in fucking prison for something stupid.
You know, he didn't want to go back, you know, and he just had this dream and made it happen, and he was going to make it happen no matter what.
My whole goal for doing the Degenerate documentary was to show people that no matter what happens, you can turn your life around if you make the decision to do it. And most importantly, stick with it even when life is really hard. If I can change my situation, anyone can.
If you don't like what we do on you, this is how we take it off. We take this stick and we beat your fucking brains in until you're unconscious. Then we take this and we go chop, chop, chop. Sometimes you lose an arm, a finger, or a leg, but it works.